Good evening and welcome to the Lowell Planning Board for Thursday, April 19th, 2012. We have a couple of matters on the agenda this evening under old business, and we do have some approval of some minutes. I'd like to waive the minutes at this point in time so we can take care of the public who were present. So moving along, I'd like to start with the lot release request of River's Edge on the Concord. Residents First Development Corporation requested the Planning Board. Lot 30 shown on the amended definitive subdivision plan approved on April 22nd, 2010, with further amendments through February 17th, 2012. They're looking for the lot release. May we have the applicant, please?
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Connors, representing the Residents First Development Corporation. About 6 weeks ago, I appeared before the board requesting some changes in the sequence of the lot releases. Lot 90, which is a duplex lot located in a zone that is completed with all the streets and infrastructure in, was allowed to be released by this board as of the start of construction of Zone 3. Zone 3 construction was dependent upon a Mass Works grant being funded and a contract being signed. That contract is through the city of Lowell, and the actual signing of it has been delayed. The grant comes from the state. The city of Lowell is actually the contracting facility. The city of Lowell previously committed $200,000 a year to assist the River's Edge project. The Lowell Housing Authority then went out and borrowed $1.2 million to using the City of Lowell commitment as collateral. The RFDC can only repay that through the requisition of funds from duplex construction. DPD staff is in agreement with this request. So that's what I'm here before the board for, to request immediate release of that. We have a buyer, and we want to be able to start construction of that and be able to keep our commitments to the Housing Authority in the city. Also, as a supplemental matter, Lot 88 is exactly the same circumstances. A buyer has not been found yet, but to save a possible future appearance before this board, I'd also request that that be released when and if a buyer can be found by the RFDC.
Okay, thank you. Craig, does Planning and Development have any comments on this matter? I know they've been working very closely with this for a long period of time now.
Yeah, this is the follow-up to, as Mr. Connor stated, the amendment that was before this board several months ago. Right. You approved the change based on the infrastructure build-out. Initially, Lot 90, and I believe 88, Lot 90 at least was open space, and that there were other duplex units envisioned in other areas. That Lot 90 was subsequently changed with several others to be a new duplex lot, and the new grant then made it possible to build out the infrastructure to access some of the other green spaces. However, the original amendment was to swap the order. The promise was build the green space, then the roads. And we said, well, we get the money for the roads now, so we'll build the roads to get to the green space. And this is this process will facilitate that happening.
Okay. Mr. Connors, do you have any comments on what Mr.
That's about it. There's a few matters, moving at once. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Any board members have any questions? Concerns or recommendations?
I'd make a motion to approve the release of Lot 90, Mr. Chairman, and also the release of Lot 88 once a buyer is found.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is made and second. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Mr. Chairman, I'll be abstaining.
Okay. And chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, the motion carries 4 in favor, none against, and 1 abstain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next matter moving along is the definitive subdivision modification, 61 Bishop Street, parentheses, Berkeley Ave extension. The applicant seeks a modification to the original approval to reflect the current ownership structure. When we hear from the applicant, please.
Hi, I'm Jeff Miller, representing Berkeley Development, LLC. We're just doing a simple name change. We purchased the property, and for financial reasons, we need to change the name on the subdivision, the owner's name.
Craig is planning development, have any comments on this? It's just basically a name change, anything under the construction names?
No, we looked at this and wondered if we could do it at an administrative level, but because the plan had not actually been recorded, it was determined that this would need to be a modification to the original approval, so that if you had the Mylar, you all could sign it tonight, or administratively, we can sign it later based on the new applicant. So again, if it had been recorded, this wouldn't be an issue, but
Right,
this is
there's
simply,
been no changes to anything else.
yeah, simply because it's an outstanding approval.
Also, this is the name, right? So it's just a name change?
Just a name change.
It seems simple enough.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Any comments from the board members, questions, concerns? If not, I'll make a motion to approval for the name change, for the modification, the original approval, to reflect the current ownership.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No, the motion is allowed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along, we had some notices in Button Towns. Any concerns? If not, indicate place them on file. Motion is made to place them on file and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think ZBA notices, I think we had a couple that were given to us at the last meeting, right, Craig?
Yeah, there were a few at the last meeting, because this is one of the few months where we have 5 Mondays. We actually are going to skip a ZBA meeting, so the next meeting is on Monday. You already had the notices for that, and then at our next meeting on May 7th, there'll be actually 4 or 5 ZBA applications for you to review before the next meeting.
Okay,
So they're not fully complete. We'd like to get them to you now, so you have an extra week to look at them, but they weren't quite done.
okay. So I think we received some in our packet last meeting, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Anybody have any concerns on the ones we had last time? I think we had 2 of them that were listed. One was a special permit on Gorham Street, a fitness and coaching facility, and the other one was for install a shed which exceeded height. Anybody have any concerns in regards to those matters? The other one was on 15 Leverett Street. No one has any concern with recommendation on that matter?
Motion to place on file?
Motion's made and
Second?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Any general correspondence from any other board members at this time? If not, we'll go back and start working on the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just briefly on, really a report out of NEMCOG. I know it's come up in the past regarding the Wood Street corridor, Rookbridge study. The advisory committee has been put together from the various communities that have a stake in that corridor. Myself, Adam Backey, and Councilor Marty Laurie has been appointed to the advisory committee, and the contractor has been conducting analysis, and we intend to have a first meeting sometime in the beginning of May. So I think, obviously that whole area has a lot going on over there, and a lot of implications as to future development, and alleviating existing issues there as well, so.
Would you meet at NEMCOG for that? or-
Yes, yes.
So can I ask one quick follow-up question? Who seconded the motion to place the ZBA notices on file? You seconded? Who made the motion? Okay, thank you, sir.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, so, I think we can go back to, we have a few sets of minutes. We can either do them one at a time if you have any questions, or we'll do them collectively, whatever the wish of the body is. Anybody have any questions on any of them? I think we have them all listed. I think the only one, Craig, you had a hard time with is, I don't know if I could find the February 6th one, so the only one I don't think I had. I had everything but.
I had no question.
Miss-
On any of them.
Mr. Chairman, I had one question on the January 5th meeting.
Sure.
The conditions for definitive subdivision, 61 Bigelow Street. It said, Jay Claremont motion, G. Frechette seconded the amendment to the approved definitive subdivision plan with 2 alterations. The lot lines for Lot 2 will be reconfigured, and a waiver is granted to reduce the pavement width to 40 feet. I don't think that's correct. The pavement width to 40 feet, 5 feet below the minimum requirement. I think that the right-of-way is 45 feet.
You're correct, yep, you're
But not the pavement width, so the right-of-way is being reduced to 40 feet, but not
Yeah,
the
the pavement width is,
Correct,
somewhere
Correct,
between
yeah.
28 and 32, you're right, excuse me.
Correct, yep, yes.
That was on the January 5th one? Okay.
Otherwise, we're gonna have an airport,
Yeah, right, really.
Okay, so, any other directions on the January 5th matter? If not, entertain a motion to approve the January 5th meetings. Motion made and second.
second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we got January 5th down. Let me just pull out my other.
And I just had, Mr. Chairman, one other
Sure.
just thought, more from an administrative standpoint, where I think we're adopting the recommendations coming out of the meetings that we had regarding public speaking and not necessarily having for and against, but speaking with, and I know the minutes are laid out as, following individuals spoke on behalf of the project, following individuals spoke in opposition, and I don't know if that's a format issue that we would want to.
Yeah, actually, the way we laid that out is the way it was called during the meeting. So I believe the most recent minutes you have may be the only one, because we're still
Okay.
one or two meetings behind that, showed that the new format where we say anyone who wishes to speak on behalf of, or about the project.
Right, okay, all right.
All right, thank you. So we had, let me just go back, we'll pull through them to begin with. Anybody have any question on the October 3rd?
I don't know.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
I made the motion, Rich second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
October 17th? Any questions or concerns?
Make a motion for approval?
Second?
Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. We did January 5th. I don't have January 19th. I don't know if anybody else does.
It's in a memo form?
Oh, that's the one we got tonight?
Yeah,
But then you
well,
gave us the new
yeah.
one, I'm sorry. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, the content was correct. It was simply, again, trying to collate it. We missed the heading on that.
He gave us
I'm
the
not certain
memo
why these minutes have
form,
been
and
so
then
difficult for
I
us.
called him and left a message today, so he changed it tonight, and he gave it to us tonight. Usually that's the memo that he sends the next day to the city department heads, so then they can record it, right?
Yeah, that's what was given to you again.
Yep.
So I did find January 19th, okay, so,
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr.
okay.
Chairman.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Having none, those are approved. I think it's the February 6th ones I couldn't find. Anybody else find the February 6th? You got that one? Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments on February 6th?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Second?
Motion made and second on February 6th. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, those minutes have been approved. February 13th. I'll make a motion to approve. Motion second by Mr. Genvin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Those have been approved. March 5th.
Make a motion for approval?
Okay.
Second?
Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. And the last one coming up will be March 19th. Oh, yeah, this is one. I'll make a motion to approve. Motion made and second.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question
Sure.
on the last page of these minutes. It said motion, Jay Claremont motion and Lockhart seconded to approve the subdivision modification to align the approved site plan, but then it doesn't record a vote. Oh, all motions passed above. I'm sorry. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm assuming that,
Oh, like, I see what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, that covers all the motions
Yeah.
above. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. Yep.
Mr. Chairman,
Each of them, yeah.
on the,
Which one?
I'm sorry, is the Walgreens one that we had in there, that is not the one where they came back for the change to the site plan?
No, that was the first
That's
one in
the-
just for the minor
Okay,
switch lot, and then they come in again the following.
got it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Because that was the first one, then the second one we came in, okay. So, all in agreement on the March 19th? Okay, motion was made, I believe, second, and we had discussion, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So those have been approved. So I know we're pretty much up to date, because we approved a lot of them at the last meeting, and I think, so most of them would, I think the new minutes should be coming soon. Rich, could you just give a little update on Perkins Street, what you were talking, did you discuss with me earlier?
Well, yeah, they, the applicant, we had an informational session with the,
Through the historic board, right?
at the Historic Board.
Yeah.
Just an informational, informal, informational question and answer period, and they presented us with new plans, which were much more descriptive in terms of parking and architecturally than what we had seen previously, and they're coming back, and they're fully confident they can work out the parking, issues. It's just moving forward. We discussed a little bit about the materials and the combination of both the brick and metal finishing, particularly along the corner, the commercial building there. They're putting a lot of good thought into how this looks, and, we liked what we saw, and looking forward to a good development.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, any further comments?
And Mr. Chairman, on that note, we had forwarded a request to the law department regarding some clarification on the sort of the doubling up of the parking allocation. Any feedback on that?
I've been working with the Assistant City Solicitor to whom it was assigned. He was caught in another matter, but I have assurance that the matter will be, his opinion will be before you next week. If I may, there are a few updates I have, and some of them relate directly to this. One is obviously you have a new updated site plan for the Perkins Street application before you. That was given to me at some point last week, so I thought I would just provide it tonight, again, because we have some time. But as a part of that, there is an additional special permit that the Perkins Group is requesting, which will be on our next agenda on May 7th. The purpose of that special permit is to try and reduce the parking for the existing building. So this is what we talked about, based on our conversation, would seem to indicate general agreement about the way the spaces are counted in the garage, that those are required for the existing units at the Hub Hosiery building, the rebuilt Perkins Street mill building. The special permit seeks to have you grant relief of the parking requirement for that mill up to about 100 spaces in the garage. This is about approximately the amount that they had said before, based on their information, was available at all times. They have provided some information, and more will be coming, which will come to you ahead of the next meeting, to make the case that this is an appropriate thing to do. Again, this would be one of the mechanisms possible for you to grant a special permit for the existing buildings based on the usage they have seen in their garage to reduce the parking requirement in the garage. Obviously, the garage is already built and all those spaces are there. So to reduce the legally binding requirement for the existing buildings in the garage, to free up the other spaces to be dedicated both to this development and actually to make some available to the Renaissance on the river. So there's that special permit. We have, I believe, a site plan review coming in the near future for Target Plaza. I believe they're investigating another building out there. I don't know the exact details of it, but they're trying to rework the site. And we have also the former restaurant next to the Walgreens, where Edward Street will be relocated, is coming in for what essentially amounts to a comprehensive site change and improvement. They're going to expand they're proposing to expand the restaurant into the area that's currently occupied by an outdoor seating deck area, and to a comprehensive rebuilding of the parking lot. Now, it needs site plan approval here and a variance with zoning, because they can't get the minimum number of required parking spaces. But again, their argument will be, or at least as it is in the application materials, that it generally conforms with the usage you see of that street and can meet the needs of that restaurant.
Is that on for May 7th too, or is that future?
The 1733, the Middlesex Street is on for May 7th. Target Plaza we have not received yet, so that should be coming soon. I actually have one other update. We've spoken a few times about this. The master plan, existing conditions, and public opinion reports have been recently completed. There was a presentation made to the city council, to which I believe all of you were invited. I hope you were invited. We tried to invite you and make sure you were invited. But we'd like to also offer to make that same presentation here at any time that would seem appropriate. May 7th seems a little busy at this point, but I think starting with the second meeting in May, anytime thereafter, if you'd like, we can bring in, I could do it, although it's not my presentation. Likely it would be Aaron Clausen, who you know well, and Allegra Williams, who's the neighborhood planner.
Okay.
If that's of interest to the board, simply, let me or anyone in planning and development know, either in the meeting or informally, and we can set up the presentation.
Okay, what we're going to do is circulate that, see what the consensus of the board is, and then if we decide to do it in the public hearing process, try to pick a night, like you said, it's kind of late. So, and then obviously, we could do it to the end of the meeting, instead of holding anybody else up who's on have a public matter who doesn't have interest in the matter, you know, so we can do it late on the agenda, so. How long a presentation would it be, do you think?
It was cut short before. It's fairly lengthy because there's a lot of information.
I'm sure there
Personally,
is,
having
yeah.
worked on it quite a bit, there's several hundred pages worth of material to condense. But, you know, we have really two different versions of it, like a 20 or 30-minute version and an hour-long version. So depending on how much interest and fortitude you all have, you can let me know what kind of, what style of presentation you'd like to see, and we
On
can make.
DVD?
I don't know if there's a recording available of the last one. I could do that as well, actually, because again, it was with the council, so it was on TV, so we could investigate making that available as well. We just thought that, you know, having someone here again.
If we had the DVD, if we could circulate it through the board members, watch it at our leisure, then bring it back up some night for comments. I mean, instead of everybody sitting,
Yeah, and at the very least,
during regular season.
Turn to play.
yeah, and at the very least, in that way, I could make sure that the presenters, both Aaron and Allegra, were here, so you could ask questions as well. That would be one of the principal reasons to bring people before you.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, then, at least if we had a chance to view it ahead of time, if the board members want to do something like that, then, you know, we could
Yeah.
focus on some of our interests. Because sometimes, I know when we get a lot of that material, try to digest it all at one time, feed it back out. This way, when you're here for the second time, things do rise up again, and people don't have interest to watch it, just want to watch it that evening. Just a suggestion, so I don't know what the board would like to do on that matter, but that way, you know, you can do a little more in your leisure, and then bring it up, and we can do the condensed version. So we can be in touch on that, okay?
Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
I had a comment on the Perkins development. It sounds like an interesting approach with the special permit. One thing I personally would like to see is some type of evidence of the parking situation in the garage, rather than just having the developers telling us that,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea how full that garage is, I'm not sure how we do that, but if there were some kind of records or
Yeah.
some kind of evidence of, you know, how much parking is available there, that would be helpful.
So what I've seen, they've provided actual counts that they've done. One thing that I've mentioned to them, and I haven't seen the information come back, and I don't know how easily this translates into something that would make sense for us to read, but again, it's electronic pass card system, and they should have records of as people swipe in and out in the actual usage of the garage. Right now, they've given us a chart of the counts that they have of usage of the spaces based on the pass cards, just the pass cards that people have, not the ones that they use and how they use them. I will very clearly make that request of the developer. Do you have any sense of what kind of information we could do? Potentially, we could have someone sit and do a simple count, a 24, 48-hour count out there. It's not the simplest way to do it, but it would seem to be an accurate way, and we can, again, request of the developer. I'm not sure if they would be open to that, or they might have a simpler or more, they might have another solution that would provide the same kind of information about the actual number of cars coming and going and parked there at any one time.
Yeah, I mean, pass card reports would be a good thing to have. If you can do some type of analysis there, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times during the day, have somebody go in and, you know, take an assessment of what kind of parking is available, that kind of thing would be helpful.
Would you feel more comfortable if that was initiated or was a cooperative effort between, say, DPD and the developer or someone else? Because I can ask that of them, and I'm sure they'll be able to bring us something, but
Yeah.
is there another way we could do that?
I think it would be better if it was a cooperative development.
Yeah, again,
effort.
I can work with our transportation engineer to have him help design a way to really get at this information, and have him by the 7th, again, because we have the extra week, so we have a little more time to see potentially what he could come up with to give us evidence of the number of cars that are there and the change over the course of the day as to people who are utilizing that facility.
If that can be done, I think that would be really valuable, and how the rest of the
Absolutely.
board feels.
Especially if they're looking for relief on the 2 special permits.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it would give you both ends.
sure, makes sense.
Yeah, I'll push that to the best of my ability.
Thanks.
Any further comments from board members? Not entertain a motion to adjourn? Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye. We have adjourned. Good night, and thank you, everyone.